Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me tonight to this class all about fall soups, grain-free breads, and some holiday favorites. So I'm Erleen Tilton, and I love teaching in the kitchen. And I love learning how, especially, to use our essential oils. To me, this is another way we can use our essential oils. So I wanted to just begin by saying, what you feed your gut influences your health. So if you stop and think about that statement, what you feed your gut influences your health. Gut health is so, so important. And I have so many people say, yeah, but it's the holidays. We've got to just kind of let everything down and just enjoy the holidays. And yes, I do understand that. We do a lot of special things, and food is a big part of our celebrations. Absolutely. But the point is you can still have healthy foods, and then you're not going to pack out on all those unwanted pounds. You can still eat good during the holidays. Now, for example, a lady that I've been working with for the last couple of months, she ran out of her Lifelong Vitality. And so when I went to help her try to order some more, she says, don't worry about it. Let me just start up after Christmas. And I'm going, no, the fall and winter are the most important times of the year to make sure you're getting the right nutrition, because this is when all the sickness goes on. So keeping your health and your immunity up and the toxins down is super, super important, especially at this time of year. So I'm just going to go over a few things with you to make sure that you understand how you can really keep your immune system up and keep, sickness down, or, keep away some of those foods and still enjoy fall and winter with maybe, it doesn't mean that you'll never get sick, but usually you'll breeze through a lot easier. Okay, so my number one is always start with fresh foods. And you'll see with the foods that I'm cooking tonight, I use a lot of fresh stuff. I like to start with fresh, and I feel like that is the best way. Even if you're using like coconut milk or, fresh garlic, even bone broth, that's still fresh. Make sure you're buying foods without the chemicals, because that's super, super important for your immune system, for your digestion, for your gut health. It all matters. All of it matters. So start with fresh and eat lots of raw foods. Make sure that even if you're eating soups like we're talking about tonight, that you're still adding the fresh foods on the sides. Celery, carrots, cucumbers, big salads, or whatever. Still get the fresh stuff in, because that's where you get your enzymes, antioxidants. They help digest your foods, and you'll feel so much better if you do that. Second is make sure you stay hydrated and keep drinking all day long. And make sure that you add your essential oils. The interesting thing about in the winter time is we don't get thirsty as much. And so we usually don't drink as much water. So still get that water down, add your lemon essential oil or grapefruit, wild orange, whatever citruses you like. Make sure you're drinking. Make some warm drinks. Herbal teas are great during the winter time. Add your essential oils. I have a what I call morning chai. And basically you'll have to just write this down because I didn't include this, but is 2 drops of each of these 5 oils: black pepper, turmeric, ginger, lemon, and cinnamon. So 2 of each of those drops: black pepper, ginger, turmeric, lemon, and cinnamon. All of those essential oils are so good. Put it in a warm cup with a couple of drops of stevia, 2 or 3, and some coconut oil or coconut milk. And you've got such a nice morning chai. It's awesome. Really good. But keep drinking, drinking, drinking. And number 3, add essential oils to all your foods. All your foods. There's so many wonderful essential oils that we can use internally. And so I'm going to reference and talk about them tonight. So I know you can't see them, especially with all the things that I have here, but I have a bunch of essential oils here, and we're going to talk about them before we get into our foods. So first, does somebody want to unmute themselves and tell us what the difference between herbs and spices is? That's a test, and I'm going to ask you one more question. So be thinking. Hopefully you'll participate. Who knows the difference between herbs and spices?
I do.
Okay, Jen, tell us.
Herbs is a whole plant that you can eat. Okay, actually, I don't know. Never mind. They sound like the same word to me. But
Most of us.
Maybe herbs is specifically like the green ones that crawl on the ground, and spices might come from other sources.
Actually,
there's my guess.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about herbs and spices tonight and what those herbs and spice oils are. So when you think of the herbs, we're talking about all the green herb plants. So let me just name some of them. We've got rosemary, basil, marjoram, lemongrass, oregano, thyme, cilantro. These are just some of them. We probably have more. Those are all your herb oils. And the herb oils are really good for soups and salads and salad dressings, marinades, stir fries, all of these wonderful savory foods. And they're really yummy. They're immune boosting, they're good for digestion, and they're good for internal organ support. So now let's talk about our spices. Now our spices are basically either the bark or the seed, sometimes other plant parts of maybe even the pod, or just other parts of the plant besides the green herb. So think of cinnamon, black pepper, cardamom, that's seed, remember? We've got the clove bud, fennel, coriander, celery, and cassia. So if you stop and think of cilantro and coriander, cilantro is the herb and coriander is the spice. So actually cilantro is really potent compared to coriander. Actually, I've noticed in foods, and normally it's just the opposite. Usually your spices are a little bit stronger and the herb is a little weaker, but that doesn't happen with cilantro. It's really strong. So those are two groups, and actually our spices are pretty much the same. They're really good for immune boosting. You see that cinnamon, clove, black pepper, coriander, fennel, celery, cardamom. They're all great immune boosters, but they're also really good for digestion, supporting good gut health and good internal organ health. So this is why we like our herbs and spices. And, you know, over the years, I've realized that, yeah, we love these for flavorings, but it's a double positive. They give us good flavors, but they also provide many immune boosting and digestive benefits. So we get these in our oils as well in a concentrated way. So you get the great flavor, but you also get some great benefits. Okay, the next set of oils I want to talk about is your citrus oils. And our citrus oils are definitely great in water and drinks and salad dressings and in almost any type of savory foods as well. I use a lot of the citrus oils like the tangerine, wild orange, lemon, green mandarin, grapefruit, lime, We have more like kumquat and clementine, and there's others that we can get on occasion, but these are all really good for cleansing. They're really good for cleansing, for alkalizing. Also, they're very stimulating, and they're good for digestion. So these are great to get in all kinds of foods as well. Now we have one more category that's a little bit different, and that is our tubers. So ginger and turmeric. Those are really good because they're anti-inflammatory. They're also good for digestion. They're good for immune boosting, but there are anti-inflammatory oils, and they come from the tubers. And so they are just excellent, excellent. And I love using those oils in a lot of the foods that we have. Now, here's your other test. Tell me, what is vanilla? Of these 4 categories, is it a spice, an herb, a citrus, or a tuber? Anybody want to guess?
It smells and tastes the best.
It smells and tastes the best. Well, it's actually a spice.
What I was just going to say,
Yeah.
the bean.
Yes. Yep, it's a spice. So we consider vanilla a spice. And I'm going to share a little bit more with you a little bit later on that's unique about vanilla that most people don't know about vanilla. So you'll really want to know this about vanilla. So it is a spice. We're going to put it with our spice category. And so there's so many fun oils that we can work with. We have more oils that we can do, add to our foods, but we're going to do different things with some of these oils tonight, or at least I'll show you. Now, I do have a set of recipes, and I will put this in the chat later on, but I'll tell you right now, you can write this down if you'd like. My email address is ask@, and then my name, Erleen Tilton, ErleenTilton.com. So ask@ErleenTilton.com. And I will be glad to email you the recipes if you just send me an email and say, could I have the recipes? Because I have a bonus to give you as well if you email me. And it's going to be kind of fun, especially for this time of year. So let's start by talking about soups. Now, I have 4 different soups that I want to share with you on these recipes that you can email me and ask for. And so let me just talk about 4 different ones. So the first one is chicken pot pie soup. Now, we all know what chicken pot pie is. It's been sitting here a little bit. So chicken pot pie, but this is kind of a soup without the crust. So it's definitely a little creamy. It's got your chicken in, and it's got some carrots, and you can put either chopped green beans or peas as well as your chicken. And it's in a nice creamy base, and there's no flour in it or anything. But the oils that I used there was our Spanish sage that we just started. Oh, I love the Spanish sage, and I'm so excited for being able to use that for our Thanksgiving stuffing. But it also has black pepper and thyme. These are, like I said, they're just off the charts when it comes to great antioxidant benefits. So I'm just very, very excited. And I think you'll really enjoy this soup. Like I said, chicken pot pie soup, very tasty. And you'll see that those oils make it taste really, really yummy. So my next one, my all-time favorite soup is actually butternut squash soup. I love it. It's just really thick and creamy. And basically what you do is you peel your butternut squash, and you saute kind of your onions and celery and garlic, and then add the butternut squash, your chicken broth, and you simmer it till it's tender, and then you put it all in the blender. So I love to add a little bit of cilantro on top. It's just such a nice soup. Now, I will say that there's a little bit of a tip I want to share with you. people don't like cutting up butternut squashes, but I have found, well, I will say this year I've probably peeled and cubed and taken care of probably 3 dozen. I've had a bumper crop of butternut squash, and you can see this is one of my last ones, and it's really small. But and then my daughter had a bumper crop of butternut squashes in her garden, so we both had a lot, and we've been freeze drying them. But all you have to do is get your peeler and actually peel them. It's super simple. So people just don't know how to do it. Hey, it's easy if you, and I like these type of peelers better. And if you do that, it's easy to peel. And this, then of course you've got to take the seeds out, but super, super simple if you learn how to peel it. And that makes the work so much easier. So butternut squash soup. Now, the other one I just made this evening. And I really like this one. I think you will like too. And it's called chicken zucchini curry soup. So it's got your chunks of chicken, and then you spiral up the zucchini. Sorry. And oh, it's really yummy. It's a curry. So basically what you do, and I actually put all the ingredients here. You basically have your chicken, and then you put mix it with the curry powder, with garlic, with 3 essential oils. Let me see, the coriander, turmeric, and well, I see. Let me show them so we can talk, visualize. Turmeric and lime. So this has coriander, turmeric, and lime in this curry. Sounds like curry, huh? So very, very tasty. I love this soup. It's a little creamy as well. But if you like curries, this is really a great soup. And I think you'll really enjoy this one. So these are three great soups. Now there's a 4th soup that I have on my recipe. I didn't do that one. And it's tom kha gai. Now, I don't know if anybody's heard of tom kha gai before, but if you go into a Thai restaurant, it's one of their signature soups usually. So I love tom kha gai soup. It's just awesome. Anybody tasted it and like it? Oh my gosh, it's so good. So it's a great Thai soup and love it. So these are just examples of simple soups that you can make. All of them are pretty simple to make. And they're very nice and warming. And oh, let me tell you what's in the butternut squash soup. I didn't tell you. So in the butternut squash soup, we have basil and thyme. Let's see, where's my thyme? And black pepper. So that's what's in the butternut squash soup: basil, thyme, and black pepper. And then in the tom kha gai, we have lemongrass, and of course that is a herb. So lemongrass and ginger and lime. So I mean, lemongrass, ginger, and lime. So it's really tasty too. I just love that soup. I love all of these actually. All of these are just excellent soups. So you'll have to try them. And like I said, the oils in them are just very tasty, make them very tasty. And they're all good for all of those ways that I mentioned here. So I'm going to put all the soups out of the way because we're going to talk about breads.
Erleen, have you ever tried the new Thai oil in your Thai recipe?
I have not tried that yet. I have not tried that yet. I'm kind of hesitant to try it, but I did get it out and I looked at it, but I haven't tried it in my, I don't want to mess up my tom kha gai recipe at all. But I think sometimes you could just add it to some of these. I think some of your soups, you really want a special and unique flavor. And so I wouldn't want to mess that up, or some of those, but I bet it would be just a great addition to some of your soups. So, and sometimes I do add Mexican to different soups, and the Italian one definitely to other soups. I've tried those a lot, but I haven't done much with the Thai yet. But that's a great question. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to breads. So I have a couple of breads to show you. First of all, we had a luncheon here with the ladies in the community, actually a week ago, and I did these pumpkin muffins, and they're really yummy. They have almond flour in them, so they're completely grain-free, and then they have this topping on them. It has like the almond flour and a little bit of monk fruit and almonds, and you sprinkle it on top. Oh, it's so delicious. Everybody just loved them. I did take them out of the papers. After I come home, I like to take them out of the papers, and I put them in my refrigerator, and then, they keep for, it's been a week and a half ago, but they're still really yummy. So I just, but anyway, that has, let me share what that has as far as the essential oils. So the pumpkin spice muffins, it has ginger, clove, and cinnamon. And of course, at this time of year, we are doing a lot of the ginger, clove, and cinnamon in a lot of things. And most people don't realize that most of the reasons we do these during the wintertime is because they're so immune boosting. These are just kind of off the charts when it comes to immune boosting. So, and like I said, they're very good for digestion, and we can't go wrong with those types of things. So I know that I've shared my recipes for like the pumpkin cream roll in times past. And that's also, our pumpkin pies, there's so many pumpkin things, and we usually always use these. So I prefer to use my oils over the spices, but actually this recipe, I actually add a little bit of ground cinnamon plus these. And they are wonderful for all of your pumpkin or butternut squash recipes. And you could actually put butternut squash in these. So this is kind of fun. Now, I also made this loaf of bread today. This is actually garlic almond bread. So I just wanted to show you how I did this. I do like to put it in my pan in the parchment paper. It's so much easier to get out. And so it makes a smaller loaf. Now, I shared my recipe, my thyme bread last year. This is much the same, but I actually left the thyme out and I put black pepper in it. And it's great for your stuffing, but it's also just great for garlic bread. I just love this. This is actually, it's just a wonderful bread. It slices really well. And basically, it's a lot of eggs. There's 5 eggs in this. So there's a lot of eggs, a lot of almond bread. Now we say that's great for, it's a good protein. Most breads are off the charts in as far as starches. And that is what is hard on your blood sugar. When you have a lot of breads and you have a lot of starches and a lot of sugars, you basically get your blood sugar on a roller coaster. And I know we have oils and a whole system for that. But the fact is, if you eat more proteins instead of that, it really actually balances your blood sugar a lot better. So I don't eat a lot of breads, even almond breads, but occasionally it's just nice to have some bread. And I love this garlic bread, and the ability to make something with eggs and almond flour and feel like I'm doing so much better for my body than if I were to do regular breads. So, and besides, I need to be grain-free. I feel better gluten-free and grain-free. And these are just really nice. So just know that you can still make breads and you can still make stuffing at Thanksgiving. With this, it's an excellent bread to make stuffing with. and it is just very, very tasty. So keep that in mind. You can still have Thanksgiving, even if you don't eat starches and grains. You won't even notice. In fact, the last 2 years I've made this for our Thanksgiving. Well, I've done the thyme bread, and the thyme bread is really nice too. But nobody's even asked questions. They didn't even know that it wasn't grain bread. So to me, that's just a testament to the fact that people like it, and they hardly even know the difference. So, okay, we'll put the breads out of the way, and then we'll talk about some other favorites. Okay, so now let's talk about some fun favorite treats or goodies during the holidays. There's some things that I just wanted to share with you. First of all is my nutty pumpkin drops. Now, these are actually really good. It's you just get your can of pumpkin, or maybe you cook your pumpkin fresh. That's great. Blend it up. You want it to be more blended. You add almond butter, and let me get the recipe. You can do powdered monk fruit or honey, coconut oil, salt, and almond milk, pecans, and even protein powder. So the essential oils are actually wild orange and cinnamon and ginger. Who would guess? Yes, it's pumpkin again. So your wild orange, cinnamon, and ginger. Those are what are in these pumpkin bites, or yeah, pumpkin bites. So, and then I just roll them in more pecans, so they just kind of stay together. And again, this is something that you can keep in your refrigerator and have for a couple of weeks. I mean, just one bite. They're just really nice to, have a little bit of a snack. And again, it's a good protein snack. Yes, you do have your pumpkin, but most of it is almond butter or another nut butter and your almond flour. So it's more protein again, instead of all your starches, and you've got your nuts as well. So that's kind of a fun recipe. And again, very tasty. I've already served this at a couple of events. People love them. They just really, actually 3 events. And so people love them. They just love the flavor and being able to have something that's tasty and good for them. Now, another thing is you can even do fudge. This is my fudge that I made actually earlier today. And I started to slice it, and then I thought, well, I'll just wait until, whatever. But it's a great fudge. I love even making fudge at this time of year. So you can use carob or cacao, whichever you would like. And the fudge is very nutty, and I like the nuts in it. I really want. So it's got honey, butter, carob, plant protein powder, which I always use doTERRA's plant protein. And then, of course, nuts. And then for immune boosting, you can either do wild orange, or you can even do tangerine, or you can even do peppermint. So I usually say either, do you want the orangey flavor or the peppermint flavor? Got to put one or the other. I love usually putting the wild orange or the tangerine. Actually, I put tangerine today. And so we have tangerine in our fudge, and very tasty, very good for you. Yes, it's got the butter in it. It does have honey, so it's higher on the glycemic, but it's pretty good for you. And I keep it chilled. It's easy to cut into square, and again, a good protein for you. Okay. Last but not least, I have a couple of cheesecakes, and one of them I'm going to demonstrate. And so let me just show you how we're going to do this cheesecake. So this is a cranberry cheesecake. Now, I've learned years ago that for myself and my family, none of us are really cranberry lovers. So when it comes to putting cranberries on the table, you know, at Thanksgiving, we're just not head over heels over them. Unless I make the cranberry cheesecake, and then everybody loves it. They just absolutely love them. So what I'm going to do is I have a cheesecake pan here. Now this is not a spring form pan, but it does, the inside does come out. So it's a little bit more difficult to navigate, I'll be honest, but it is stainless steel, and I wanted a stainless steel, and I could only find it in 8-inch. So it's a little bit thicker of a cheesecake, and that's okay. You can slice it in smaller slices rather than a flatter cheesecake. So whatever you want to do, you know, the 9-inch is usually what you'll use, and it has the spring on it. So what I'm going to do, and this is the coolest thing, is for a crust. Did you know that you can make a crust with 2 ingredients in just a few seconds? So in my blender, I'm going to put a 1.5 cups of nuts, walnuts, and 2 tablespoons of monk fruit. And this is a 2 tablespoon. Okay. Now, you could, if you don't want to do the monk fruit, you can do 2 dates, and that will work too. But either way, that's it. That's all you have to do for your crust, and it works wonderful. It's just great. And so I have greased my pan here, and so it's just crumbly. You just pour it in and then press it. And that's all you have to do. It's the easiest crust ever. Just walnuts and a little bit of sweetening, and it makes it a very, very good crust. And so very simple to just basically press it down. And that's all you have to do. I know you can't see me doing it, but that's all it is. Just blend those walnuts and either the dates or the monk fruit together and press it in. And it's basically done. So that's the first layer, okay? Second layer is super simple. And by the way, well, I'll talk about the last layer. Okay. So the next layer is our cream cheese layer. And I do everything dairy-free, sugar-free. So basically, this is the Daya brand cream cheese. It's coconut milk. It's coconut milk, cream cheese, and I love it. I've seen other kinds of cream cheese out there, but I always feel like they have a lot of flavor, fillers in them. And this one, basically, it just comes straight out. And you didn't even get to see that. And I did take the plastic off the top just for, so basically you just scoop it out, it just comes out. And these are, this tastes more like cream cheese. Like I said, it's nothing but coconut milk. And I do these at Thanksgiving, and nobody even knows the difference. They taste it, you wouldn't know that it's not dairy cream cheese. So I've got my cream cheese in there, 1/4 cup of monk fruit. You can do honey if you would like. And then we're going to do 3 essential oils. Anybody want to guess what they are? That you can probably kind of guess all 3. Going to start with Madagascar vanilla, 4 drops of that. Or you could do a teaspoon of vanilla. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do 3 drops of either wild orange or tangerine. I think I'm going to do tangerine this time. It's a little bit more pungent. I love the tangerine flavor, and most of the time I do wild orange, but okay, 1, 2, 3. Whoops, we got 4. It's going to be a little bit more tangerine-y. And then 1 drop of ginger. 1 drop of ginger. Got 1. Okay. So now we're just going to and put it in our over our crust. Okay. Again, this is super simple to make. I like the fact that I don't have to do any baking. I do bake when I need to, but if I can get out of it for any reason, I will. And I think a lot of these things shouldn't have to be baked, and I don't. So anyway, a little bit more here. Get that out. All right, then all we do is spread it around. Come back to that in a minute. Okay, I need both of these. And just spread it flat. Wish you gals were all here so you could taste it. But you're going to have to make it yourself so that you can taste it and get that experience, because it really is a nice cheesecake. And I think your family is going to love it just as much as my family does. And my family's not all, dairy-free and gluten-free and all that, and sugar-free. There's definitely a lot of pies that show up at our Thanksgiving dinner that aren't. But they still are okay. I mean, they don't mind it, and the grandkids can't tell a difference. So that's great, right? Okay. Last but not least is our cranberries. So I made this ahead of time. I made this earlier today. And so basically you get an 8-ounce package of cranberries, and you put it in the saucepan with a 1/2 cup of water, and you just kind of simmer it a little bit until the berries start splitting. Now, these are actually cranberries I bought last year. They've been in my freezer all year. You can only buy them once a year, unfortunately. So, and then you put a 1/2 cup of either coconut sugar or regular sugar, or I put the monk fruit sweetener there. And so and then I chilled it. So it's a little bit chunky here. Oh, did I show you the cheesecake? Or anyway, sorry. I didn't maybe. I'm just mixing it up to kind of soften it a little bit, but it will be nice. And like I said, this is a nice way to serve cranberries if you're not cranberry lovers. What I added to this is the wild orange, and it makes it yummy. You could do lemon, you could do tangerine, kumquat, clementine, whatever. Make it your way. And it turned out really, really good. So it just gives it some really unique flavor. I think maybe that's why my family likes it. Again, we've got that, the citrus oil that's really immune boosting, alkalizing. I mean, you can't go wrong with citrus oils. And that's why you can add them to most any type of food, and they're great. I love adding the citrus oils to a lot of things. So here we are. So just so that you kind of can see, hopefully I can get this out without dumping it completely out. So basically you pull it out this way and you can see the 3 layers. Isn't that fun? Very easy. We did the crust and then the cream cheese layer, and then we've got the cranberries on top. And it's, again, super simple to make. I mean, I did it all right here, except for the cranberries that I did a little earlier. But, it's pretty simple to make. And you can do it. So, the one thing that I wanted to share with you that I think many of you might really enjoy is years ago, I homeschooled for 25 years. Anyway, one of the things that we did when we were homeschooling is came upon this chart. And this chart is a list of new to the white man foods in 1492. And it's like, are you kidding me? So, obviously there's turkey and corn and sweet potatoes and squash and cranberries and pumpkins and even white potatoes, but there's a lot of things on here that you would never have even thought. And so what we try to do, we try to make a fun day of seeing how many of these foods that we can serve during Thanksgiving dinner, like maybe for breakfast and for lunch or whatever. So we try to serve as many of these foods, but there's also duck. Peanuts. Did you know peanuts were indigenous to America? Maple sugar, strawberry, pineapple, tapioca, tomato, beans, pecans, cashews, cacao and carob, both of them, avocado, chili pepper, vanilla, and popcorn. Anyway, since I have found that there's a few other items that aren't on this list that were indigenous to the Americas and were unknown to the old world when Columbus arrived, but these are kind of the basics. And it's kind of fun to get this list, and it's kind of fun to do fun things with. Well, we try to have tapioca pudding for breakfast, and with strawberries and pineapple on top of it. And I make it with maple syrup, and vanilla, of course. So we just try to do nuts and cashews and pecans, and anyway, fun things. So if you email me for the recipes, I will also include that list, and you can have fun with it too. So it just makes it fun. So do you have any questions on anything I shared here with you tonight?
Yes, give us the secrets about vanilla.
That's what I was going to share. It was one of the new white man foods. Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell us all the health benefits of vanilla.
No, just the fact that they didn't know anything about vanilla or chocolate or strawberries or anything in the old world. Stop and think about it. This is unique to America. They didn't know anything about that. So anyway, that was just one more thing about vanilla, is that it really is a new to the white man food. And go ahead.
What was the brand of the cream cheese that you use again? The coconut cream cheese.
DAIYA. Oops, sorry, Jesse. DAIY.
Okay.
So yes, I went to actually someplace in town today, and there was a lady, she had some cashew cream cheese. So I know there's more out there.
Okay.
You just need to make, I mean, you know, I just like coconut best. It's my favorite, and it's the cleanest. That brand is the cleanest I've seen. So there may be other.
I love the Daiya brand. I also buy the Trader Joe's non-dairy cream cheese.
Good. Good,
That
good.
one I like it. It's pretty equivalent.
Good. And is it out of coconut too, or is it other nuts? I know there's an almond one. It's about twice the price, and I'm going, I think
I
I'll
don't like the almond ones. They're kind of watery. No, I think I can't remember if it was coconut or cashew, but it's one of the two.
Good, good. Thanks
I was
for,
surprised that you didn't have eggs in your now I'm blanking out. Cheesecake.
no, like I said, you don't have to cook it.
I know, I realized that. That's pretty good.
That's awesome. And like I said, if I don't have to cook things, I mean, I don't even like I'm not against eggs, put it in the bread, but I've never liked the cheesecakes. They taste too eggy for me. So I love the fact that you can just whip it up and put it in your pan and you've got it.
So when you did the crust, it was just ground up walnuts and monk fruit sugar.
Yep.
So the oil in the nuts is what helps it hold together.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah. If you like less sweet, just put 1 tablespoon in it. And like I said, the dates, they're good too if you want to use them for either way. Yeah, I mean, it's just nice that you can do it with just the walnuts.
Yeah.
And kind of fun. Good.
You will post this recording later because I missed the first 10 minutes.
Okay, I will post it.
Thank you.
I will definitely post it. Good. Any other questions?
Thank you, Erleen. I loved it.
You're welcome. So glad that you came and glad you joined all of us here tonight. But now it's up to you to, well, make sure you email me so that you can get the recipes. I figured that would be the easiest. And then you got to go home and make some of these yourself, because I think you'll really enjoy them. So, and then let me know how you like them.
I think you should invite us down when your blackberries are on and then cook all of this for us again, and we could just have a great get together.
You guys are welcome anytime.
It was a very interesting class. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good. Hope you enjoyed it. And make sure you get those oils out and you start putting them in your food, because we have a lot of oils that are so good, especially at this time of year, and we need to be using them. So make sure you do that. All right, everybody, have a great night. Have a great week. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.